farm and we take a reed and walk with that and bring it and give to the family. The next morning, so ladies and gentlemen, the procedure is the same. We will purify these children, then finally purify this body, and we will say something, somebody will talk about how we will sing some bhajan, and then finally we will take this body to Waterloo cremation site. So if you look along, you will see what is being done. making a promise to do all of this to be done. Okay, now one after. Om Vishnu Vishnu Srimad Bhagavato Mahapuruષ Vishnu Rabje Pramahmanasya Udya Brahmano Vishwe Prabhe Sri Svet Bhagavatampe Vevasvat Mantare Kali Yuge Kali Padam Charne Trinidad Dese Grant Trace Botaro Village. You take your name, your relation with Vijayji. You are the grandchildren, right? And take her name, and you are promising to do all that is to be done. On this day, this time, and this place. Take your name, Aham Narishya. Just put the flowers on the chest. Bring some flowers for the Marie.
Yes.
Take a flower. Would we all stand as this opening prayer this year? We pray to the Divine Master who controls the world, all creation, Bhagavan Vishnu. Om Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudramarasat Sunvantati Vyai Vede Shanga Padakramo Panishade Gayanti Yam Shamaga Yana Vakti Sadgate Tamanasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yashyantam Nabida Sura Suragana Devaya Tasme Nama Om Shantakara Bhujangaitam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagan Prasitam Ekavara Bhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalnainam Yogi Vidyanadam Yam Vande Vishnu Bhavayharam Sarvaloke Ekanatham Bolo Vishnu Bhagwan Ki Jai. You must take it. Day, according to the astrology of the Hindu calendar, is a very, very auspicious day. On this day, we get up early in the morning, take a bath, take water and offer to the sun. After that, from where our ancestors came into the state of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, they make a mixture of rice and any one of the pulses which they call khichdi. You could add some sugar in it because jaggery is a very important thing also. Having done that, you take some and offer to the sun god, and then you can share that as holy offering to yourself and to the family. Very auspicious day. This is so because the sun is now moving northward, and while the name varies in different parts of India, so that in the Punjab they have a festival called Lohri, Lohri, and in UP they have this called Khichdi Parva, and in Assam it is called Uri, in South it is called Pongal, in Gujarat it is called Uttaraya. Don't want to worry about all these people, just know there is an auspicious day. What to do? It is so auspicious apart from this movement of the sun that it is about the time that spring might begin to come, and they will begin to harvest what they have planted. So in the joy and happiness of all that, they will sing and dance and light a fire, bonfire, and exchange gifts and so on. In the Mahabharata story, the grandsire Bhishma, during the 18 days war, was shot not with one arrow, but well over 2 or 3 dozen of arrows. He did not give up his life until this auspicious day came, and then he allowed the life force to go. This is a extremely auspicious day. So, when you die or when you will die, or when you are born and so on, all that is in the hand of the Maker. So if somebody dies in July, you can't say, oh, that's bad that. That's when God decided you have to come. So let's not confuse about the nitty-gritty of a very good day or bad day and so on. But this, well, I just wanted to, All right. So now the first thing they have to do is to take water and sprinkle over this body. You will hold the lota in your left hand, and you will just touch him, and he will take the water and sprinkle over the body. Yeah, go ahead, Peter. Om Adyamo Godasya Preta Shabtange Ved Kittur Nam Maya Diyate Tamo Pratishta. Right, put back the water there. Om Madhyamo Gotasya Preta Metik Same Sabnimit Chandanam Maya Dite Sabo Pratishtam. Yeah, next. So that's somebody, the malas that we have, you have to see that the pen must be broken. Right, that will be all right. But when you get the mala, watch. When you get the mala, just how hard this around my neck. Right, spin. Om Adyamo Gotasya Amupetasya Vitek Stane Shablimit Dandam, all the expressions. Dandamaya Diyate Tabo Pakistan. I'll leave it in the box right there. Right, take the gala, the mala. Om Adyamo Gotasya Preta Amukvetas Betikstane Shamnimit Pushpamala Maya Diete Samopatistan. Give the next one to. Abhyamuk Gotas Trepeta Betikstane Shamnimit Pushpamala Maya Diete Samopatistan. We are offering either ghee or gugul into the fire. We chant 14 names of the God of death. So, Om Yamaya Nama, Om Nityave Nama, Om Bhavasaya Nama, Om Sarva Bhushaya Nama, Om Om Chittaya Nama, Dharmarajaya Nama, Antakaya Nama, Audambaraya Nama, Neelaya Nama, Brikodharaya Nama, Chittaya Nama. Right. So all Mahore Andete Samatavita. Om Yamasware Mahore Andete Samatavita. Yasralu Nalkaya. Deeptam Sabopatistam. Om Yamasware Mahore Andete Samatavita. Yasralu Nalkaya. Om Yamadvare Mahadhore Andete Samatamrita Satyartalo Punarthaya Deeptam Tabo Pratistam Om Adhyamo Gota Stepreta Vitakshari Shamnimit Kipur 5 times. Deeptam Maya Diyate Tamo Pratistam Adhyamo Gota Ste Amukpeta Ste Vitikshame Shamnimit Deeptam Maya Diyate Tamo Pratistam. Adi. This is called a pinda, right? But we will add with it till on a piece of cooked grass. That you will then put it in the right hand. Om Adhyamo Gotase Preta Amuk Preta Mitikstane Shamnimit Ishante Pindo Mayadite Samopratistam. Ladies and gentlemen, what we call death is sure for everybody who has been born, who took birth. So if you take birth, you will die. Other creatures also, they take birth and over a period of time they die. Some creatures that God has created may even live 1,000 years and then die. That you can find out yourself, which creature is that. And then you have the dog in the yard, that dog may not live more than 15, 16 years, other creatures. And so we are being granted easily to make 100 years. But not many of us make the 100 years. Some get sick, some do the right thing, some live what you call a reckless life. You break the speed limit, you hit the lamppost and things like that. So, how you die and when you die is already determined. But if you live a good life, take good care of your body, pray to God regularly, be charitable, be helpful, be kind, don't have jealousy, no hatred, you will make 100 years. You see, not long ago, a former president of the United States, Jimmy Carter, made 100. But if you go and study the life of Jimmy Carter, he would fit into what I just told you.
Carter didn't make life before that. God make Carter survive in life.
So ladies and gentlemen, sister has made 90 plus. And all that has happened from this body, she looks exactly as she is. But what it is that has left the body, and then we say the body is dead. In everything that God has created, God is so helpful and kind that He lives inside that body. So inside your body and my body, Bhagwan, we try to translate it into English and say so that Atman is inside. That is a spark or particle of the divine. It stays in your body and controls everything. But when the time has come to go, it will go. It may go from many parts of your body. And it is believed that if it goes from here, you don't come back, you are not born again. Those of you who recall, you will not recall because you were the baby, but your parents will know that the bones of here, they have a little spot here, and they only fuel about 18, 19 years old. But before that, they take a little bit of oil, and they put it here, and they always massage the scalp. It is said that should the life leave from here, you're not going to come back. No more birth, no more death. You have got union with the divine. So all persons, all creatures want to go back from where they came. But the things that we do, which call up karma, karma ties you up. So whatever you do, you have to pay. And that means if you have to walk out karma, you are not yet going back. For instance, let me make an explanation. When rain falls and it hits the ground, the water becomes a little muddy and goes into the ravine or the pool. But if you are thirsty, you will not take the water from the ravine and drink, simply because it has become contaminated. So when we are born, we are extremely pure. But as we go along and we begin to do wrong things, a certain level of contamination takes place, and we are not fit to go back from where we come. But that same water, when the sun hits it, it gets evaporated, goes up, reaches certain height, condenses, and falls back. When it falls back, you could drink that water. After all, the water that you buy is not from the same water, but has gone well below the soil. So these are known as artesian wells, and they pull the water and you drink it. Not many of you would know the time when you drink water from a barrel, and that barrel will be lined with coal tar. And the rainwater will fall to a piece of cloth into it. And that barrel water will taste exactly like the one from Blue Waters and the Asani and so on. So I remember those days and I find, well, I drink Vasa water straight from the pipe. I don't worry to buy bottled water. The children go and buy bottled water. Well, people come here to give them bottled water. I drink straight from the tap. When you brush your teeth in the morning, which water you put down? Water. So what's the big issue of buying water? You work very hard, and I always advise people, don't waste your money back. No need to buy water. You may not agree with me, but the members of parliament always have bottled water in front of them. They set a bad example. So ladies and gentlemen, when this body has become purified, it goes back never to come. You can become purified by constant attachment to God, doing what we call japa, and doing all the good things. And when you have got enough merit, you don't come back. So, sister, as I said in the beginning, has done well. And so we don't have to bother about that. The only thing we could do is to pray to God that if she has made any mistake, please forgive this individual. Okay? I will read from chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. This is a message given on a battlefield. It was given to a very good archer in order for him to do his duty. This little book has 18 chapters, and it deals with some bit of war, then about your own physical body, the indweller, the Atman or the soul, how you can attain oneness with God, and things like that. So, I am reading from chapter 2, from verse 11. Asokyam anvasukakam praja vadamsta vasate gatasum agatasum da manuso pandita. Bhagavan said, O Arjun, you are grieving for those ancestors and so on who are here to fight battle with you. Yet you look like a very intelligent person. And he points out that wise people do not worry about things like that. Then he reminds Arjuna, Hindus believe in birth, death, and coming back. Some people don't believe in that. In fact, there was never a time when I was not here, or when you were not here. In fact, we will all be here again once again. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yogadam jara tataha denta tapnaptirta vidyatatra muhyate. So just as boy becomes an adult, then he becomes a little older, and finally he dies. So it is said that as the body ages and so on, the soul decides to give up this body, and having given up this body, will find a new body, and so on. So there's that coming and going on all the time. Arjun, wise people to whom pain and pleasure are alike, and who is not tormented by these contacts, such people become eligible and join me. So in other words, they are not born again. This Atman, or what we call soul in English, is never born, nor it ever dies, nor does it become on being born, for it is unborn, eternal, everlasting, and ancient. Even though the body is slain, the soul does not die. You see, at the end of the first chapter, Arjun is saying that, Lord, I don't want to kill all these ancestors of mine because it is not worth it, no matter what we get afterwards. And now Bhagavan is telling him that as a Kshatriya, if you went to war, it is your duty to fight. And explain to him that you will kill the physical body, but the inner dweller, the soul, which runs the body, does not die. So all in all, you are not killing anybody. You might be assisting the exit of the soul by destroying the body. So that is all that has happened. Soul is out. The soul will stay for a while. Certain rites and so on have to be performed. The soul, we are told, and all this has to do with, you have to believe in revelation, things that have been given to your saint, otherwise you will not believe anything. So the soul stays first in a structure about the size of the tongue. And after that, when certain rites are performed, by the 10 days, that soul gets a bigger body. And then we do a final farewell, and the body will now go with the agents of death on a long journey, and by going to 16 different places, and finally after 360 days, it reaches the southern kingdom of the god of death, where final judgment takes place. After that, generally speaking, they say, well, whatever desire you have, if you are okay, you get what you want. So if your desire is to come back, he may send you back. If your desire is to join Godhead, not to come back, and you have the merit, okay, I will take you back. So nobody knows. You know, some people tell you, well, she died, and a month or two later, some member of the family has a baby, and we are carried away with our emotions, and she born back. That is not how it is. First, judgment has to take place, and that is not going to happen before 360 days. In other religions, I think there's a day of judgment also. We don't know the length of it. But in Hinduism, 300 right. So I have said what I want to say, as I tell you in the beginning, a very good way. And somebody in the family might say some things just now too. But before that, we will get the immediate family the chance to put up flowers and do our thing. Then other relatives and friends and so on. And when that is finished, And while we are doing that, we might sing a few of these bhajans. If we have volunteers, would you just put up your hand? I'm good at talking, I'm not good at singing, right? So if we have volunteers, just put your hand, we'll give you a chance to sing. And so while they are doing that, you will sing some of the bhajans and then everybody, okay? Why they do that? To see what they do with the eye and distinguish them. Here also here. But one does many things at the same time. So you look upon it and then join. Oi nale jahe dhana pan ke kathariya jab yamara japalang par baithe ulat gaye dono nain patariya ulat gaye dono nain patariya Oi nale jahe dhana pan ke kathariya मारे ही सोता प्राण निकाले प्राण लुकाए ये कोठरिया कोठरिया प्राण लुकाए कोठरिया कोठरिया कोई ना ले जाए धन पान के कोठरिया तार प्रहर मिलिकात उठाए चार प्रहर मिलिकाट उठाए फूक दिए जैसे बन के लकड़िया फूक दिए जैसे बन के लकड़िया कोई ना ले जाए धन बान के गठरिया कहत कबीर सुनो भय साधु कहत कबीर सुनो भय साधु छूट गए सब महल उतरिया छूट गए सब महल उतरिया कोई ना ले जाए धन बान के गठरिया. When the time for death arrives and the God and the agent comes to take away that life, at that time, your eyes tumble over. And then he has to take the life. So he will use his own method and withdraw the life from the body. After that, a few friends will lift your box and take you to the cremation site and burn you like a piece of wood. The poet is saying, but on that journey, in the end as you go, all that you have here, material things, are just left behind. These bhajans and so on are very beautiful. And Kabir was a real great reformer. If you see a flag in front of a house and the bamboo is covered with a white cloth and the flag is white, that is the color of a Kabir religion. Mathura's wife, the deceased Mathura's wife, she was a Kabir Panth. And those of you who came to the funeral would remember the rites are a little different. I think we have a handout. If you want the handout now. Right, any volunteers yet? There's one here I see, Pinjare Ki Panchi. I know many of you know this bhajan. Let me tell you what it simply means. Literally, a Pinjare Ki Panchi is a bird in a cage. But stretching it to what it means, in this body, there is that inner soul that lies in this cage. Whether it suffers or doesn't suffer, good and bad, it doesn't complain. So the little bird in the cage, the poet puts it, good and bad, the poor bird can't tell you the story. So that basically is. So let you sing with me. पिंजरे के पंछी रे तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, बाहर से तू खामोश रहे है, बाहर से तू खामोश रहे है, भीतर भीतर रोए रे, ओ भीतर भीतर रोए रे, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, कहा न सके तू अपनी कहानी, तेरे भी पंछी क्या जिंदगानी रे, कह न सके तू अपनी कहानी, तेरे भी पंछी क्या जिंदगानी है। बिना तेरी कथा लिखी है, आंसू में कलम डुबोए, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, चुप के रोने वाले रखना छिपा के दिल की छाले रे, चुप के रोने वाले रखना छिपा के दिल की छाले रे, ये पत्थर का देश है पगले, कोई ना तेरा हो, तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, तेरा गर्दन जाने को पिंजड़े के पंछी रे. So you see, all the suffering, the trouble you have, that one ball in the cage doesn't tell anybody. So that soul in the body does not tell anybody. This is a special prayer to Bhagwan Ram. This one most of you might know, or at least you can try. Sri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajman Arana Bhave Daruna Navakanja Lotan Kanja Mukkar Kanja Pad Kanjarunam Kandarvayaganita Amita Chabinav Nila Niraja Sundaram Patapita Manav Tadika Ruchi Suchi Naumi Janaka Sutavaram Sri Ramachandra Ki Palu Bhajuman Arana Bhave Darunam Navakanja Lochana Kanja Mukkar Kanja Pada Kanjarunam Bhajudina Bandhu Dimesha Dano Daitya Bansani Kandanam Raghunandayananda Kanda Koshal Kanda Dasarajanandanam Sri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajuman Arana Bhave Darunam Navakanja Locham Kanja Mukkar Kanja Pad Kanjarunam Sri Mukkata Kundal Silakacharu Udharayanga Vibhushanam Ajanu Bhuj Sarchapadhar Sangramadit Kardushanam Sri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajumana Arana Bhave Darunam Navakanja Lochan Kanja Mukkar Kanja Pad Kanjarunam Iti Bhavita Tulasi Dasa Shankar Sesa Muni Mana Ranjanam Mama Hidaya Kanjani Vasa Kuru Kamadikal Dalaganjanam Sri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajuman Arana Bhave Darunam Navakanja Locham Kanja Mukkar Kanja Pada Kanjarunam. The mic may play bhajan, but very softly.
Sitaram, everybody, and we decided to do the eulogy now while everybody's moving around. So, Baba already talked about my grandmother quite a lot, so I'm going to cut this slightly short. Does he tell you more about her life? Because he knew her a lot longer than I did. My grandmother, Sumintra Bissessar, was the daughter of Ramcharita Sukhia Lathad. She was born on the 26th of June 1934 in Maclean, Cuba. She was 90 years old last year. This year, she would have been 91 in June. She was one of 9 children with 4 sisters and 4 brothers. And very sadly, Grandma lost her mother at a very young age. I remember her telling me very recently that after her mother had died, her father found her crying outside the house. And he took her inside and gently said to her, "Don't worry, your mother is gone, but I'm both your mother and father now, so you don't have to worry." She always spoke very, very highly of her father until the day she died. Along with her stepmother, her father's mother and aunts had a big influence in her upbringing. She was part of a very large extended family who grew up like siblings, not cousins. She used to always say that 2 brothers married 2 sisters. You hear this all the time, you never really bother. And it's only I realized, okay, her father's brother married her mother, her father and brother married to 2 sisters. Her mother. See, it's still confusion. When she was 18, she got married to my grandfather Babu, who was 5 years older than her. It was an arranged marriage. It was an arranged marriage. So she had never met him before. We used to ask her what that was like, but when we were younger, she didn't want to tell us. Only more recently, she started saying a bit more. I asked her, "Grandma, what was that like? What was it like on the day of your wedding to see somebody that you were going to get married to and spend the rest of your life with for the first time?" She said, "When I see him, he looked alright, but I find he was a bit short. Papa could have chosen somebody taller." Shortly after the marriage, Grandma and Babu moved into this house where we are now in Grand Trace. And this is where Grandma lived for the past 72 years. She had 3 daughters, as you all know, Sursati, Vishmati, and Binda, and later adopted Babu's niece Sandra as her own daughter after Sandra's parents had passed away. Grandma worked very hard to make sure that all 4 of her children were well looked after, and she sent them all to school, made sure that they all went. Education was very important to her. In her younger, more able days, the land all around here used to be filled with peas, corn, sweet potato, cassava, and all of these things were grown by Grandma. I remember as a child growing up with her in the garden, going across there to mold the soil. She also had a big chicken coop in the back, and I used to go with her to feed the chickens. She used to tell, in her later years in life, she opened, as everybody knows, a shop. And this was the place where most people in the village came and congregated, so it was always very lively. She used to tell Binda and my mother, Sursati, when they would visit from England, "Don't quarrel with my customers. Those are my customers, leave them alone." And although she wasn't formally educated, she could add up in her head what we all had to do with a calculator. A few years ago, a few people were just fighting outside right here. She was inside, a couple of people were fighting. And the guy that was being attacked, she busted that door, grabbed him, shoved him inside, and closed the door. Grandma used to say she didn't afraid anybody and anything, and that, I could tell you, was very true. She was very kind and good to people. She was always very generous. Whatever little she had, if someone was in need, she would never hesitate to share. In some instances, people would come and stay here if they had problems. She was also very strong-willed and believed firmly in being truthful and honest. She was feisty as well. She didn't take any nonsense from anybody, and I think all of us have inherited that trait. She used to say things like, you must dress well and all that. I said, "But Grandma, if you're telling us to kind of dress well and always look good, why you have on old clothes with hole and thing?" She said, "Look, if I put on the new clothes I have and I dress up, all them bandits then will think I have money. So if I dress like a pauper, nobody comes to harass me." And I was true. She lived here very safely for the past 72 years. She was an excellent cook. Curry fish was her best dish, I think, and soup. People used to come here and want to eat her curry aloo, provisions. See, all the people eat her food, so they know. But grandma wasn't just a mother and a grandmother. She was essentially the village counselor. So anybody who had any problems would come here and tell her, and she would give them advice and so on. She was a mother to everybody. That's truly right. I personally was extremely close to my grandmother. So were my two brothers, Darren and Dale. In fact, I would go as far as to say grandma was closer to us than her own daughters. In all my life, my grandmother was always very gentle with me. I know other know-hows quarreling and all this, but my grandmother never quarreled with me, was never harsh to me, we never had an argument, we never fought out. And Darren and Dale used to get jealous because they're like, why should she be like that with you and not with us? Darren was the eldest grandson and grandchild, so he was the favorite, and he liked to gossip, so they used to have a good time gossiping there. Dale, no, I had absolutely no doubt that Dale was the closest person to grandma, because he, his wife Kelly, and daughter Elizabeth lived right next door to her. They saw her day in, day out. They lived like one family. They lived their lives up together, their ups and downs together. When Kelly got married, moved in here, some time ago, she couldn't cook roti. I was given permission to tell her that she couldn't. I don't think she could still cook roti now. Grandma used to cook roti for them. Whenever she made anything, Grandma would say, you want me to make a roti for you? And in fact, a lot of times, anybody come here and they're hungry, she would say, you want me to make a roti for you? That's probably one of her most used phrases. Undoubtedly, the absolute apple of my grandmother's eye was her eldest grandchild, Elizabeth. Her eldest great-grandchild, Elizabeth. Many of you would have met Elizabeth and heard her chatting. She has an answer for everything. Well, who do you think she took after? Elizabeth, and Ba, as she called her, had an exceptionally special bond. So much so that in the last month of Grandma's life, one of her main carers was Elizabeth. And I make no exaggeration when I say she was there through it all. She saw everything, more than I did. Checking her Ba's blood sugar, giving her medicine, feeding her, and even helping her change when she couldn't. A couple of weeks ago, Darren called on FaceTime, and of course Elizabeth was there. Elizabeth was always there. And Elizabeth was feeding Grandma. He said, because we like to tease her, that's our Grandma. Why are you feeding my Grandma? She immediately responded, because you're not here to do it. So today, as we send Grandma on the next step of her journey, we remember her laughter, her sharp tongue, countless memories. But above all, we honor the legacy she leaves behind, literally exemplified and personified in her great-granddaughter, Leslie. Elizabeth will now do a small tribute.
For my great-grandmother, Ba, you live next door, just steps away, where hugs and stories fill my day. Your shop had snacks and drinks as well. I love to play and help you sing. Your kindness like morning light. You made each day feel warm and bright. And I have treasured the lessons you have passed on. Your memory will forever lie strong. Although you've gone to rest above, you leave behind your endless love. I'll keep you close in all I do. Great Grandmother Ba, I always love you.
Thank you very much, Liz. Elizabeth is also going to do a special tribute to Bach. If anybody else wants to say anything in the meantime, please, we welcome it. Elizabeth didn't even practice that.
Okay, I just wanted to add something to what Princey was saying. My mother, everybody in the village, and if the salesmen who came and everybody to my mother, they called her Tanty. Everybody knew her as Tanty, young, old, rich, poor, everybody who came here, it was Tanty. Always Tanty. Nobody ever disrespected her. She would straighten them out, as we say. And Leroy in the back here, she would get up and tell Leroy, shut your mouth and go. That's the kind of person she was.
But she'll be vexed if we tell Leroy anything.
I'm right here. I see something already. Right here. No common Leroy, it's Leo.
Leroy.
Leo. You know where you want with that.
Thank you, Elizabeth and Kern. Kern Seeley, Elizabeth said make sure I mention Kern Seeley. Now what I have to tell you all is, Elizabeth learned that song last night. Kern came 11:30 last night. Elizabeth didn't know any of that. Elizabeth learned that between 11:30 and about 12:15 last night. Went to sleep, so she deserves another round of applause. Went to sleep. I say that practice a little bit this morning. No man, I know it. So, well done, Elizabeth. I will be very proud. Oh yes, and that steel pan, Ba would hear that humming all the time. Don't algeminate from a picture. That's okay, I'll pass back to Pundit now.
Ladies and gentlemen, once upon a time we had oil, plenty oil in Trinidad, and we had the drum. And people thought, well, they have to have a little bit of rhythm and music. And so out of that oil drum, we have got the steel pan. Now it has been refined and it's almost played worldwide. The only trouble in Trinidad, we believe sometimes and we associate pan with one ethnic group. Pan doesn't belong to any ethnic group. The pan belongs to Trinidad and Tobago. And not many people play Indian tunes on pan. And that pan to play endless Indian tunes, as beautiful as the harmonica. And you can get all the rhythm. So I sort of want to challenge you younger people. Don't waste time. If you could learn it, so be it. I hope the child just learned that in half an hour. Only that is modern acceptable. Half an hour. I have had 80 plus years and I still piano to be 2 notes. I see in my school days, you didn't have fun, but today in the school you have fun. You have fun competition and fun all over the place. My days, when I was a young boy, fun was associated with people who make mischief. Marabuntas and who chopping one another and things like that. Those days are far gone. If you want to learn it, not only can you play, you know, when we read from the scriptures, read from the Ramayana, that can be played on pan also. The instrument that you see at Hindu prayer with the harmonium, for instance, and one might believe that that is an Indian instrument. The origin of that is Italy. So the harmonium went into India, having started in Italy. So have no doubt, learn your music and enjoy it. We have just completed the rites here. And in a few moments, normally we do it at the gate, but I decided to do it right here. And so, those of you who have not come up, that's all right, but in a moment we will be good. So this body will go with the foot first into the hearse. Somebody will throw the water in front of the hearse, and the attendant, could you come and collect the fingers and front to take along? Yeah. You have it already? Okay. More for this one. You will get a foil on your cover? Right. Get a piece of foil to cover that. Deva Sankachakra Gadadhara Akshaya Kundali Kaksha Kreta Moksha Pado Bhava Krishna Krishna Kipalu Samgati Namgati Bhava Sansara Bhagnanam Prasiddha Purushottamam Om Tat Sat Pret Atma Shanti Pret Atma Shanti Pret Atma Shanti Ram Nam Sat hai Yehi Sabki Gat hai.
Yes, wala nang sabihin nga.